my peeps? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are not new, if you are new, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Remember, if you're not having a fantastic day, that is always okay too. But remember, I'm always over here hoping that your day turns around for you. Okay, y'all, hope you guys are being safe, social distancing, wearing your mask, hand sanitizing, washing your hands, protecting yourself as well as other people, because you're not the only person on this planet, believe it or not. So, what we have today is a very different YouTube video. I'm not going to necessarily promote this video. This is a little bit different video that I'm not going to require y'all to, watch or whatever. But this is an assignment that I have to do, and I figured why not just do it into a YouTube video, since that's what I really like to do, and he says be creative with it and things like that. So this is what I've decided to do, okay? So we were just given the thing where you have to choose a concept or whatever, and then do something creative with it and things like that. So of course, as you know, we're making this YouTube video anyway. Let's get back to the good stuff. So for our specific video for today, we are going to be talking about ring species. And for those of you that don't know what it is, I'll kind of sort of explain, what we need to be knowing. But we're going to get into that. So, and it's biology and things like that or whatever. This is why, because some people don't really care about these things or whatever. I don't necessarily care. I'm just going to go. I don't really necessarily care about this kind of stuff either. I want to get into the humans and the bodies and things like that or whatever. I don't really care for the animals and figuring out what kind of bug something is or what kind of plant something is. I just want to just look at the human bodies and want to learn about all these different medical things, conditions, diagnoses, whatever. But we have to do this. Okay. Let's get back to it. So, we have the ring species, right? And so let's really delve into this. So, don't mind me, I'm just looking at some notes that I've taken or whatever. So, what we have is the ring species, right? And how do I want to do this? Maybe I should do it hold up, y'all. Let me do a diagram. Maybe I'll just do it just right here, right now. Okay, so we have our two colors. Let's see. It kind of goes like this. I'm pretty sure there's a way better way to do it or whatever, but this is what we have. Okay, then we have, we'll go here, da-doo-da-doo, da-doo, da-doo, and then we have, and then we have boom, 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 boom. Okay, so quick drawing, amazing. Actually, it's really not. Okay, so you may be looking at a bunch of scribblies, but that's not what we're looking at. Okay, so this green part right here is mainly just saying that, as you can see, the reason why it's called, this process and concept is called ring species, is because it's pretty much in the shape of a ring. So what we have here is, at least what we're looking at right now, is Allopatric Speciation, right? Speciation. Sorry for my, accent or whatever. And it's a physical barrier. And these are mountains or whatnot. It kind of looks like a broken upside down egg. But we're not going to worry about that. So these are kind of mountains or whatever. And that's what I'm using for right now. That is the physical barrier. So you have this little squiggly right here. Maybe I should make it we'll do it pink. Or purplish pink, whatever. Okay. So, we have this species right here, right? So, we have this species, right? And then we have these mountains or whatever come into play. And then it starts to, I'm covering it. Because of this barrier right now, this species right now is starting to now split up, right? And so let's add some. Let's add that. is a terrible drawing, but when I reenact this using what I'm going to use, it'll be so much cooler. But this is what we're working with right now. So this species is now, if we were to lay this out on a line, the species is getting farther and farther apart, right? But right now it's a ring species, so they're like going all around here. They're separating, right? So there's that. And then, let's see. And then we have and then we have and we'll use whatever this color is. So here we eventually have where they come back together after so long apart, whatever the case may be, and then eventually they'll come back together, and then they're so different. Well, I don't want to say so different, but they've acquired some different characteristics, you know? And so, we have this one, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's kind of like a greenish, bluish kind of color to them. And remember, they still are purple, they still have the purple with them, but they have become so different that they don't really recognize each other. And so, I don't know, I don't want to use, let me see, how do I figure out a different kind of way? Okay, we'll say it this way. I didn't know it may be a terrible example, but we're going to go with it anyway. So, this one may have developed a different colored stripe or something on them. And I'm not going with a specific species. I'm just saying this one developed this color stripe and this one developed this color stripe. Well, we'll say that they just developed to be so different that they don't even recognize that they're the exact same species. And so then they don't interact with one another. They're like, who this? And then that's where we have it. Ring species, right? So, or allopatric speciation. So let's use a more interesting example. Okay, so you look at this terrible diagram, or however they want to say it. But let's use the zebra cakes. Okay, so we have these zebra cakes. We're all over here. That's cool, right? Okay, but they're just wonderful zebra cakes. They're in the store right now. They're like chilling. They're like, yes, yes. They're creating zebra rolls, cake babies. They're just having a good time. Amazing. But then a person or multiple people, we'll say two different people, let's say an elderly woman and me, right? I take some zebra cake rolls, and this elderly woman, she takes some zebra cake rolls, right? So they're like, no, oh no, we're separating. Look at this physical separation, right? This allopatric speciation happening right now. So I take them and she takes them, right? We're just getting farther and further away. I'm traveling from Miami. I'm then going to Iowa. She's going from Miami and she's going to, I don't know, freaking, what's another state? Arkansas. Well, I don't even know if that's even farther. But just stick with me here, right? And then I go from Iowa and I'm going all the way to South Korea. And then she is now going to, I don't know, New York or something. I don't know. Just bear with me, okay? And so now these things are getting farther and farther away from each other. And so then we'll say this elderly woman's zebra cake roll, they start acquiring some red little stripe loop thingies. all the farther they get, the more they're just like acquiring these things or whatever, like this crazy red stripe, right? And then me, after all the places I'm going, right, the zebra cake, this zebra cake roll, starts to develop these cool freaking blue stripes, right? Or lines, curved lines, however you want to say it, right? We're way cooler. Okay. See, we have like multiple. We have like double. You know what I'm saying? Like, bam! They start to develop these things, right? And you have to keep in mind, these guys, they were like, they're like pretty much family, right? They know each other. They was cool and all that stuff in the store. And then we physically, again, this is completely make-believe, but just keep, stick with me here. So, now, I come back from traveling to these different places and from coming back from South Korea, and I come back to Miami, and we go back to the store, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this zebra roll or whatever. Again, this is not how technically, I'm saying, but we come back. I'll say we come back to the store or whatever, and this group, we come back to the store with our wonderful blue stripe, and the elderly woman, she comes back to Miami to the store with the red striped zebra cake rolls, right? So they get back together. They're like, please, like, stay away from me, bro. Like, we don't know you. Like, who are you? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't recognize who you are. But then again, these guys are the exact same species, but they have become completely different. Not completely, but have become so different that they no longer recognize each other. And so therefore, they're not gonna like mate and create some more of those. What they're gonna do is be like, sis, we don't really recognize you, so that's not gonna happen. So having a zebra cake roll that is I would say brown, white, red, and blue is not going to be possible because they don't recognize each other. They don't know that species, so we're not going to associate with you. We don't recognize you as being one of our own. And so that is ring species, and it's the Allopatric Speciation, right? But that's not the only kind of speciation, right? So then we have what is called... Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'd be like looking at my notes and stuff, making sure like I ain't telling y'all the right thing. I mean the wrong thing. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna need some more zebra cakes. What else? Let me pause the video real fast so you guys aren't just. Okay, I required some more zebra cakes and zebra cake rolls. So, now we have moved on to Sympatric Speciation. Okay. Okay, so. How do I want to say this? I don't think we'll need a diagram for this, hopefully. So, we talked about allopatric. Now we're talking about sympatric speciation. So, in this case, this is a different story. We have the same species. So maybe I will get like a diagram. I use the other side of this paper. Okay, so we have the same species. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. So, in this case, we have the same species, right? Look at that. Same rectangular leg. We got the same little insert color and everything. Same species, right? And then these species, as you can see, right? They're living in the same, maybe I'll like do like a circle of some sort so you guys can see, right? They are living right now in the same exact geological location, correct? And so, somehow, this species can be able to split up, okay, into different groups, right? And then these guys will start to evolve in a completely crazy way, right? So let's look at this. Let's see, they will, how do I want to do this? Okay, so we have bam. So as we're looking at this, as you can see, you're like, where the heck did all these colors from, right? So these colors came from, again, like, don't worry about this thing. Just think of it as just a species, right? So this group, right, this species right here is in a geographic location, the exact same geographical location. And they eventually somehow are able to split up into two different groups. And then eventually this group will change into this. And then this group will eventually change into this, right? As you can see, they are nothing alike right now. They have completely evolved into two different species right now because they have become so different, and now they're like, sis, we don't know you, sis, like, this ain't gonna work. And so they're now are just evolving separately and eventually literally becoming two different species, right? So let's put this into something more exciting instead of a bunch of colored rectangles. So we have our two zebra cake rolls, yes? So we have our two zebra cake rolls. They are in the same geological location, whichever one it is. Okay, they're just like chilling and we like, yay, yay. Well, actually, no, I'll even like add another one, right? Kind of like not a great number, but it is what it is, right? So we have all these guys, right? This species of zebra cake rolls. Just chill it, and then eventually these guys will split up. Imagine there's like a gazillion more, y'all. They eventually split up into two groups, and then eventually, over time or whatever the case may be, they become so different, right? So let's put this to how I want to. I'm just gonna use this again. And no, I'm not actually drawing. As you can see there, it's still in the package because we don't waste zebra cakes. We don't waste sweets anyway. So, now what we have here is, after some time, these guys just like hanging out, two different groups, right? But then, guess what has happened? This zebra cake roll has changed into this. And the other group has changed completely into something different, right? And so, hold up, is this open? Okay. And so now, they're like, we don't know what we're doing here. We are completely different species right now. And so we're not going to associate with you. We're not going to breed with you. That's it. And so now what you have is two different species right now because they're so different right now. And so then there's no breeding, right? And so that is, let me make sure I'm Sympatric Speciation. Now remember, Allopatric is when there is a physical barrier, right? Me, and the elderly woman, we were the physical barriers. We were just going, and then at that point, we were just going farther and farther apart until we eventually came together, back together. These zebra cake rolls eventually came back together. But again, they were so different that they didn't recognize one another, right? In this case, because that was Allopatric Speciation. Sympatric Speciation, we have it to where there was no physical barrier. There was nothing of that nature. They were all in the same vicinity, and then they eventually split up into two different groups. And then those groups eventually became extremely different, so different that eventually that they became two separate species. And of course, you know, we have two different species. We're not going to breed, interbreed, whatever the case may be, whatever term you want to use. We're not going to breed with you. And so they're still continuing on as two different species. So we have this Sympatric Speciation where they become two different species. And we have Allopatric where they are technically the same species, but something has just turned to where they're just different in a way to where the species just doesn't recognize them. Okay, and so, and again, the physical barrier, if we're talking realistically, when we're not using these crazy examples, can be physical barrier meaning like mountains, volcanoes, water sources. It could be any of those things, right? So I just want you guys to keep that in mind, that realistically speaking, if we were looking at what are examples of physical barriers, those would be the examples. Let me see. Okay, and then you have to remember also that in both cases, the species or what have you are in some way or another not recognizing one another in any way. For example, the two zebra cake rolls, they didn't recognize one another because they had become different, and so they just didn't recognize one another. Whereas in Sympatric Speciation, they were the same species, but they had split up in two different groups and then evolved so much and then just became a completely different species, right? So that's kind of like the difference in how that works. Let me see, I feel like, am I missing something? Let me see. I think that's it, y'all. I don't think I'm missing anything else, right? I think that's it, y'all, for how those things work. So again, I know this is definitely not the normal YouTube video. Again, I still am posting it, even though it's technically a biology assignment. I figured why not? It's just going to be a different video. for you guys to like take a look at. I don't know, I probably will expect most of you guys to like click on it, realize, ooh, biology, and then like run the other way. So it is what it is. But for those of you that stuck around, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so that way you guys can get notified every single time I post a new video. Please have a fantastic day. Remember, if you're not having a fantastic day, that's always okay too, but I'm always over here hoping that your day turns around for you as always. Please be safe. Social distance, wear your mask, hand sanitize, wash your hands, protect yourself and other people. Remember, it's okay and it's way cooler for you guys to be wearing a mask and protecting other people as well as yourself. And it is so disgusting and not cool for you guys not to be wearing, doing what you can to help yourself and your community. So, I will see you guys next time. Bye!